Welcome to the Final Fantasy VI No Magic Challenge run, where I attempt to beat the game without casting a single spell, as the magic is gone. Except not really, but what are the rules for this run? First, no magic. That means I cannot use magic menu. Weapons that cast magic on hit can be equipped, but can't be used to attack with as it will cast a spell. I can't use enemies that have magic with Garu, and won't be using Go-Go this run, so no copying the enemy magic. Likewise, any ability that I feel is too close to magic, like Pray, Runic, or Mog Dance, cannot be used. Abilities like Tech Blitz are fine, but going to be sticking to stuff that is non-elemental. Also, I can't equip any Espers, nor can I summon them. Items that cast spell or summon cannot be used. Rule number 2 is any action can be taken that doesn't involve magic. The third rule is I must have as many magic users in my party, so Terra, Celeste, and Stargo must be in the party if they can, since they are the mages of this game. And finally, the fourth rule is no overleveling, unless I get bitten by a boss over and over again. With that all said, it's now time to use the magic tech armor. Okay, for the love of just no hill beam in this section. With that out of the way, we're on to our first boss fight. In typical Final Fantasy ATB fashion, this boss is to teach you to wait! Attack the head, don't hit the shell. Very simple stuff. We approach this Esper encased in ice. The room starts glowing, and the device on Terra's head breaks. Terra passes out, then wakes up. It turns out Terra was being mind-controlled, having no prior memories before now. Locke wants Terra to join.
La Resistance.
The evil Empire has a different idea and wants Terra back. Also, the town's guards want her, as we did kill a lot of them. This means we gotta escape, but as we do, Terra has a nasty fall, so it's up to the Moogles to help. This introduces the main gimmick of Final Fantasy VI, swapping parties, as you have groups of enemies slowly reaching Terra. Not to worry, as you just have to beat up the captain, who hits very hard. So my first group of Moogles gets taken out, so it's up to the second group. Leave them on auto attack for the win. Now Locke takes Terra to Edgar, where I buy potions, gear/skills for Edgar. We finally meet the Clown Prince of Darkness, Kefka. Kefka asks for Terra back. Edgar goes, nah. So Kefka goes Sephiroth and burns the castle. Luckily, Edgar, Terra, and Locke escape while the castle goes underground. Now, boss battle with two magic tech armors. Since Terra is meant to be using magic, her strength stat is not the best, so she does little damage. Luckily, we had just brought Edgar some new abilities, so he's the main DPS for now, while Locke heals the party when needed. Make our way to a nearby town to learn about relics, basically accessories that can have other effects both inside and outside of battle. These will be allowed as they don't cast magic, technically. Find Sabin's cabin, then climb a mountain. The enemies like causing poison, which is fine casually, as around this part, Terra learns Poisona. That cures poison. We can't use it, so I had to buy a number of antidotes for this part. Reach the top for our next boss fight. Vega, who I die to, so reload the fight. I end up getting a couple more encounters than last time, so I gained a level. 30 heal for round 2. The boss has a couple bears as guards, so kill those off first before trying to kill the boss. Locke has a weapon that can randomly block an attack, which is helpful, except the boss likes using Gale Wind, a party-wide attack that the weapon seems unable to block. Just have Edgar use his tech, Terra attack, which should do enough damage to the boss to trigger the Sabin section. Sabin has a special ability called Blitz, which is input a fighting game command to do a move. So I suplex the boss for the win. We reach the resistance base, and after turning the Baron's initial offer to join, we get a pretty good relic to make us join. The place gets raided. Locke goes off on his own while the Baron joins the party. No praying, we are people of action. Pervy Squidward boss fight who wipes the party first time. Second attempt, everyone is in the back row since the brothers, Sabin and Edgar, are the main DPS and their abilities don't care about what row they're in. The other two are on heals, and thanks to everyone being in the back row, the damage received is a lot less. Sabin's aura farming pays off as the boss goes down. For now. The party gets split up, and you can choose what order to do the next sections in. So let's start with Terra, who ends up back in. We pick up the Ruin Blade that uses the user's NP to do more damage. This is going to be a very useful weapon since we don't need NP to cast magic, and we might as well do the extra damage to make up for the lack of strength stats. Now let's see what Locke is up to. Stealing a merchant's uniform, to steal a guard's uniform, to steal a merchant's uniform, to steal some wine, to end up in a secret passage where we find our next magic user. Celeste, who was a general in the Empire, but got locked up as she doesn't agree with them. Locke has all the luck finding these magic users, so we find her equipment and make her escape to Tunnel Armor. This boss fight is meant to teach the player about Celeste's runic power, absorb the magic from the enemy so it can't use its big attack. Runic's too close to magic, so when it uses its big attack I just use high potions to heal as it doesn't one-shot anyone. Then it's just a matter of removing 1200 hit points from the boss. Good thing Locke and Celeste are doing over 100 damage a hit. The boss only gets one big attack off until I tunnel its grave. Now on to Sabin's story, where we pick up Shadow, buy a load of potions for our infiltration of the Empire camp. We'll steal some of their stuff. The Empire is attacking Doma Castle. We get introduced to Cyan, who is single-handedly holding off the Empire. Some of the Empire's men is being held hostage, so the current commander, Leo, doesn't want to do anything that may harm them. Too bad, as he goes away, so Kefka poisons the castle water supply, killing everyone inside. Cyan's family gets killed. Cyan goes, we join in, enter a forest with a mysterious train with lots of ghosts. Could this be a phantom train? It is indeed the phantom train, and the gang is not ready to pass on to the afterlife. Kinda. So let's fight the train. Sabin suplexes the train, but it didn't kill it, so I used a classic Phoenix down on an undead enemy trick. This was because the train was kinda kicking my ass with all sorts of status ailments. Well, the train lets us off, but Cyan sees his wife and son board the train. They say their goodbyes as Sabin and Cyan decide to jump off a cliff.
Suicide is badass! No.
Shadow clearly can't get paid if he's dead, so he passes on the jump. So as the two slowly fall to their inevitable demise, let's fight a bunch of falling fish before the Risapaz shows up. This boss doesn't hit particularly hard, so I just Aura Cannon and Fang for the win. Another new character, Garu, who rescues us, but more importantly, I do a letter sending side quest to get a nice relic that heals whoever has it equipped for every step the party takes. Then I buy some meat for Garu, who joins the party. Explore some caves, dig some dirt, and hop on a boat. Now everyone is reunited. Yay! Kefka's gonna attack Nash. Boo! Welcome to another defense mission. Similar to defending Terra, we can form as many parties to help defend the Esper from Kefka. I form one. As per the rules, Celeste and Terra must be in it. I also have Locke and Edgar join the party. Now, just kill enemies. Also, there is a nice heal station, so if you get low, you can go heal between fights. Perfect, as it's time to take on Kefka. This fight is designed to use Celeste's runic ability to stop Kefka's magic attacks. I can't, so instead Terra and Edgar are on damage duty thanks to the Ruin Blade I found earlier. Terra's attacks are doing decent damage. I also have a relic equipped, the Sniper's Eye, which makes it so no physical attack can miss. Spoilers, this relic is going to be very useful this run. Edgar's auto crossbow can hit from any row, doing decent damage, so he's in the back safe and sound. As for the other two in the fight, Celeste goes from damage to healing when needed. Since I'm not absorbing magic, Kefka is able to kill off any party member with ease. Locke stays on heals, and at points I need Edgar on Terra on heals as well. The fight is looking close, but the team managed to get the last laugh. For now. Terra interacts with the Esper, goes Super Saiyan, and flies off. This means Celeste, Locke, Edgar, and Cyan will go after her. If I brought Sabin along, I would get a bonus scene, but I felt like he would make this next section too easy. Zozo.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
The only town where you can get random encounters. And guess where Terra was last seen? Make our way through some apartment blocks. This part feels like Raid the video game. Reaching the top gets us a fight with Dadaluma. This is a fairly easy fight. Cyan has learnt Flurry, a move that makes him hit multiple times, so it gets used a lot. Edgar uses Chainsaw, a move that can insta-kill, otherwise it just does decent damage. That is until the boss uses Protect, so I switch to Drill. Celeste now has the Ruin Blade, so use some ethers to keep that MP healthy. Locke has a weapon that can randomly steal, so he's also on attack. The sheer amount of damage was too much for Dadaluma. We found Terra with Ramuh, and we get a lore dump. The Empire has been draining Espers of their magic, but if an Esper dies, it turns into Magicite, which is a much better way of gaining magic from Espers. We're not interested in learning magic, old man Esper, but we do decide to head to the Empire to rescue the captured Espers, since if we can't cast magic, neither should the Empire. Before that, let's head to the Opera House where some things are planning on capturing the female lead. Luckily, Celeste looks just like them, so Celeste performs the opera. It's great, but for the sake of the video's length, we're just gonna skip to the boss fight. Ultros is back. He still hits like a truck. Luckily, thanks to Chainsaw and Flurries, I also hit hard. So, Ultros also runs away. So our leading lady is safe, right? Plot twist, turns out Ultros was not the actual kidnapper. Okay, he was, but someone else wanted the lead. Setzer, who was shocked to see Celeste and not the other person. Then the whole gang sneaks on board his airship. Setzer joins the resistance, and we now have an airship. Excellent, Empire, here we come. Not before we get some resupplies and some equipment upgrades. We entered the Empire, then to their Magicite facility. Now, up until this point in the game is not expected to use magic, but after Ramuh's explanation on how to learn magic, the game throws in enemies that are resistant to physical attacks. You do find weapons that have elemental properties, but like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they can randomly cast a spell of the corresponding element, so they are not allowed. The game for the most part has not been too bad, but this is where the difficulty of the enemies has ramped up. A lot of resources get burnt up here. Find two Espers looking for a fight. First is Ifrit. He likes casting single target spells that I can outheal, though resources are running low. Edgar uses Drill on the boss. Since Chainsaw can randomly activate an instant kill move, against a lot of bosses it does nothing but waste a turn, so Drill is more consistent with damage. Cyan Flurries. Shiva turns up and decides multi-target spells are the way to go, so Celeste and Locke are on heal duty. Remember, I'm using items to heal, and they are single target, which makes Shiva's moves a lot more annoying as they hit multiple targets. They turn into magicite for us to keep in our back pocket and to never use them. You get a free heal before we fight the next boss. Number 24. Cast Confuse on Cyan, so he spends a good portion of this fight attacking his team. Celeste and Locke are just on heals, with Locke dying a lot in this fight. It looks like this is going to be a GG's next situation, but thanks to Edgar's continual drill damage, the boss gets foot lettuce. This game, Sid shows up in a hazmat suit. This man has good taste. Kefka is like, Celeste is a spy. Celeste is like, nah, teleports. Everything starts breaking. Sid is like, I'm gonna ask the king to stop the war and you guys better escape. We lose Celeste, but the enemies are now weak to physical again. After 5 forced back-to-back encounters, we get number 128. Everyone is on the attack, focusing on the boss parts first. Even if they do regen back, I have Edgar continue to focus the main body part, as Cyan's flurry hits randomly, so not much I can do there. If it kills a body part, great. If not, well, it's hitting the main body, right? Locke heals the party when needed, but it's not needed that much during this fight. Escape on the airship. What's another boss fight? This time against cranes, one on either side. Each crane has over 1000 HP, so flurry and drills with lock on heals. Zetsu is in the party, and while I do use slots once, I don't get the insta kill everything, and that seems like cheating, so I just have him do regular attacks. This is going to be a no slots run. Okay, after a difficult dungeon and a boss rush, we return to Terra, who remembers everything, so another lore dump. Terra's mom hates humans, so they went to live with the Espers, where she fell in love with an Esper and had a child together. Terra. The Emperor shows up one day, kidnaps a bunch of Espers. Terra's mom gets the blame, runs away with Terra. Terra's dad is like, no, don't go. The elder Esper is like, I'm gonna create a seal so nothing can get in or out. This means the Empire sees Terra, the human Esper hybrid, kidnaps them, slaps the life out of Terra's mom, and Sid thinks he can just ask the Emperor to stop this war? Head to Nosh to see if they will finally fight against the Empire. They do, but they want the Espers to help them. So we, a low-level party, make our way through the Espers cave. Luckily, there is no boss at the end. Also, we pick up another party member, Mog, in Nosh. Make it to the gate, and the Espers are down to attack. Like, super down, as some of them just rush out and...
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
So the Espers almost level the Empire. The Emperor gives up and is all like, peace!
I guarantee it. Would I lie?
So we do a mini-game of talking to 24 troops to tell them to give up, by either talking to them or just beating them up. Oh look, Kefka's in a cell. We have dinner, answer some questions, and the Emperor asks Terra to talk to the Espers for peace talks. Turns out the Espers were looking for the captured Espers, saw they had all been killed, and went on a rampage. We did so well at the dinner that we get some goodies and access to even more goodies. Terra and Locke board a ship, joined by Shadow, Celeste, and Leo, to find the Espers to start the peace talks. We enter a town where it looks like the people can use magic? Also, a house catches fire? Realm's inside, and Stargo, her granddad, wants us to help rescue her. Also, Shadow's dog really likes Realm. So the party is Terra, Locke, and Stargo. Stargo is a blue mage, which means we won't be using his blue magic, and now has to be a main member of the party. While inside the burning house, we kill some bombs. Then it's time for the real hell. Flame Eater is easily one of the hardest bosses in this run, and is by far the hardest boss so far. The amount of times I died to this boss, well, let's just say it's a lot. Mainly due to the gimmick of the fight. You were meant to use Stargo's blue magic to kill the ads and hurt the boss. You also get given ice rods that can be used to cast Visage, dealing massive damage to the boss. Thanks to my rules, none of this is allowed. The boss can spawn from 2 to 4 bombs, with one of them being a harder version of a bomb. The boss has 8,000 hit points, Locke can do around 300 to 400, while Terra and Stargo cannot. I also need to kill the bomb spawns. If they have left alone, they will self-destruct, doing big damage. I had to back out of the fight and gain an extra level, then go in with a plan. Kill the bombs till one remains. Locke focuses on the boss, Stargo and Terra are on heal duty, as the boss can cast Fire and Fire, which insta-kills anyone. I ended up using a lot of X potions and Phoenix Downs in this fight. After a while, the boss just uses fire and summons bombs. The special bombs, the grey ones, need to die as quickly as possible, as it can cast Blaze, which does a ton of damage. The fight is a slog. Terra attacks when she can, but her and Stargo have got to heal most turns. There are many times when I'm just left with one party member, and I have to waste turns on just getting the party back into a position where I can do damage again. I push through the damage, the boss starts getting easier and easier as its flames burn out. We get the backstory of the village. It was formed from survivors of the Magi War. The Magi War was basically kingdoms using Esper and magic users to conquer the world. Unfortunately, over time, the Magi of this village have gotten weaker and weaker. Luckily, there might be something nearby that the Espers will be attracted to, so Stargo decides to help us find them. Also, Shadow leaves the party with all his gear still equipped. Fuck. This nearby cave teaches us about the gods of magic, who had enough of the war so to turn themselves into stone or something. Reasonable response, so let's go fight Ultros. Again. Locke is the main DPS, Terra and Stargo are on heals. After a short time, Realm shows up. Use Sketch to instantly end the fight, but Realm keeps missing. Stargo gets down, but Ultros takes a look at himself. How could this happen? And sees nothing but an old octopus. Seeing his fading youth, Ultros leaves the fight. We find the Espers, who feel bad for all the killings. It turns out they couldn't control their power when entering the human world and went berserk just like Terra. They have a talk with Leo, but
It's a trap!
Keka starts insta-killing them, turning them into Magicite. Yup, the evil Emperor is still evil and now wants the power of the gods, the warring triads, to rule the world. Now it's off to the floating continent to stop the Emperor, but I head to Domo Castle first to pick up a few things. This is another big dungeon, almost feeling like an endgame dungeon. I only take in the 3 magic users, Terra, Celeste and Stargo, as on the floating continent, that's more of an island, I can pick up Shadow and get my stuff back. Before that, we have a number of fights on the airship, fighting planes, and oh boy is it tough. So I do a quick grind and come back with a new loadout for Terra. I found the ultimate weapon, which does more damage the more health you have. So equip the Angel Ring, so Terra has regen in the fights, keeping her HP healthy, and the Hermes Sandals, so she has haste. Celeste has the Rune Blade. The MP damage boost makes this weapon still good. As for Stargo, well, he has the Hermes Sandals and the Sniper's Eye, but he won't be attacking the enemy. I found a heal rod that heals on attack, so instead of using items, Stargo will just hit the party member he wants to heal. And thanks to the Sniper's Eye, he is guaranteed to hit. This setup works, but we're not out of the woods yet. Ultros is back with similar moves to before. I've used a number of ethers on Celeste to keep her MP healthy, but I'm not sure I have enough to keep the damage up throughout the fight. Stargo hits peeps to heal them, while the ladies beat the shit out of Ultros. Then Typhoon, Ultros' new sidekick, joins in. This is bad since I don't have any multi-target attacks or healing, and Typhoon has some multi-target attacks. So I focus on Ultros first. Eventually Ultros goes down, just leaving Typhoon, but he counts in the back row, so a lot of my attacks are doing a lot less damage. But it's only him, so I keep the pressure up. Instead of dying, he sneezes on the party. Into the third boss fight, Air Force, that ramps up the difficulty even more. Another multi-part boss, which means all the parts are doing damage, and serious damage at that. I tried taking out the parts, but thanks to the massive damage, Terra's HP is consistently low, which means her damage is low. Stargo can't keep up with the heals, and Atomic Ray hits all the party members for very good damage. The party gets wiped. I try again, but the Ultras Typhoon fight goes so much worse that I wipe, so I grind the party to level 25. If I can't beat the bosses, well, I just have to use a 4th party member. Thanks to the grind, I get another Angel Ring for Celeste. I have a 3rd Hermes Sandals, so everyone has haste and finally better armor. Ultras and Typhoon round 3 goes as well as the first time, except much faster, as everyone is slightly stronger. Thanks to Celeste now having the sandals, I'm getting way more attacks in. Before the fight ends, I use a high ether on Celeste, just so she has enough MP for the main boss fight. Air Force Round 2. Instead of trying to kill all the missiles and laser guns, I just have Celeste and Terra focus the main body. Stargo on heal, but the team gets low. I even use an elixir on Celeste just to keep her nice and healthy and have enough MP for that extra damage. The boss still hits hard, but focusing on the body means I only need to do 8k damage. It's still dicey with turns where Terra needs to heal, but the power of Rune Blade, Ultimate Blade, and Healing Rod makes short work of this boss. We fall on the continent, see a wounded Shadow who got betrayed by the Empire. Shocking! So now joins our party, and finally I get my stuff back. So the floating continent. Despite grinding for the Air Force boss, a lot of the enemies here are destroying me. Shadow is very underleveled, so a lot of quick save scum to make it to Ultimate Weapon. Remember when I said the Flame Eater was one of the hardest bosses in the game? Well, the Ultimate Weapon is another one of those. I can use Shadow's throw command to deal decent damage until
Mind Crush!
Like many final bosses in Final Fantasy games, Ultimate Weapon's Mind Crush acts like Grand Cross, which can cause a random status ailment. So in the first few attempts, he wrecks me. I exchange speed for some resistance to some of the effects and kill the ones I can't. Well, one big attack is bad enough, how about a second one that the boss will charge up? I am keeping up, until he starts killing party members left and right. I struggle to keep everyone healthy, so the party keeps getting wiped. No choice but to try and grind some levels in the dungeon, where I can only take on a handful of enemies. So I level up, working out some of the enemies here can't be instant death, as they just come back immediately. So Shadow has to ignore those, as his weapon can cause insta death, but not cast death. Tried the weapon again, only the Mind Crush still leaves me too weak, and with big attacks afterwards, it wrecks me. I tried to make Shadow the main DPS, giving him the Hermes Sandals and an accessory to increase his strength, but the boss has too much health. So I gained some more levels. Terra and Stargo are now 28, Celeste is 26, and Shadow is 23. Shadow has the Hermes Sandals and the Mentor Ring, which gives him a decent protection from a lot of the status ailments. Terra and Celeste have the Reflect Ring instead of the Angel Ring, as the boss does like casting Flare, which can now be reflected onto him. Stargo's equipment doesn't change. This attempt feels different. Like it's not even the same boss anymore. This has gotten so much easier. Before, when Shadow was the main DPS, the boss would focus him, but now the boss spams flares, which if it targets Celeste or Terra, will just damage the boss. The boss also casts party-wide fire, which only hurts Shadow and Stargo, and the boss since it gets reflected back onto him. Quake heals everyone except Shadow, so everyone just attacks the boss except for Stargo, who heals whoever needs it. Not once did the boss use
Mind Crush!
So either I got God RNG, or maybe the Angel Ring caused the boss to spam it. Well, the team shows the boss who the Ultimate Weapon actually is. Shadow leaves before we reach the Emperor. Celeste wants revenge but stabs Kefka. Kefka takes this well and decides to destroy the world. The Emperor is like, no, don't do that. I need the world to conquer it. So tries to kill Kefka. But inside the Warring Triads, magic cannot be used. So they kill the Emperor instead, and Kefka moves the statues, causing harm to the world. Shadow comes back to save us as we rush back to the airship, having a bunch of mandatory fights that you cannot escape. There is a boss fight that I just auto-attack through. And before the fight, I did change Stargo's weapon so he would damage the boss and not heal it. Then we just wait for Shadow to return as we
Watch the world burn.
It's been a year since Kefka moved some statues around, so Les wakes up. Sid has been looking after us for a year, to atone for helping the Empire out in its magic experiments. Turns out looking after us and all this guilt has made Sid very ill, so as soon as we get out of bed, Sid moves in. So we gotta catch some fish to feed him well enough so that he didn't get better. Before Sid left this plane to board the Great Phantom Tree in the woods, he built us a raft so that we could escape from the island. So let's see how the rest of the world is doing. Wasteland. We find Sabin holding up a collapsing building. We got 6 minutes to loot the place and find some kid. We achieve the looting, rescue, and Sabin is down for beating up Kefka. End up finding the brother Edgar, Gerald, who's working with some thieves to break into Fargo Castle. Wait, isn't that Edgar's castle? Follow them onto a boat, through a cave, and into the castle's engine room, where yes, Gerald was Edgar this whole time.
No shit.
Boss battle with some tentacles that really like casting bio, so use a lot of antidotes in this fight. Sabin is an aura carrier duty, Edgar is on the back row, on the drill, and Celeste attacks but tries to keep Edgar alive since he has no relics equipped. The tentacle's regular attacks is weak, so it mainly the bio to be careful of. Each tentacle has around 4,000 to 7,000 HP. Not a hard fight by any means, just have to keep a closer eye on Edgar and take a turn off to heal him. Sabin just spends this fight blasting tentacles. The thieves manage to steal a lot, except this one sword, and Edgar officially joins the party. We get a scene with Edgar and Sabin talking about their dad, but enough of the touching reunion, we gotta restock and get me an airship. Meet up with Setzer, whose airship is now gone, but he has a plan. Grave robbing. There is an underground dungeon behind the grave where we get some new gear with a mini-boss. Angel Whelk is similar to the first boss of the game. Attack the head, not the shell. Unless insta-kill triggers when you attack. So, let's move on to the actual boss. Dullahan, who I spend a good chunk of time on. The gimmick is its holy attack will only affect party members at a certain level. So don't have the party at the same level, otherwise they will all get hit by holy. Eventually I came up with a strat of Celeste and Sabin spamming heals, Edgar and Setzer on DPS, with Setzer using Gil Toss to do decent damage. It cost me all the gil I gained from killing everything in this dungeon. The boss will cast AoE blizzard spells, as well as some strong single target spells, so a lot of Phoenix Downs and X potions were used. In the end, Sabin didn't make it, but neither did the boss. We now get a new airship, so it's time to go find the rest of the gang. First stop is this mansion where we have to interact with the paintings to make it to Realm, who's working on this painting that is possessed with the boss. Shudra Nook has two forms, Goddess and Demon. Both forms have separate HP, but you only need to defeat the demon, so when the demon is out, I go all out attacking. Though, Setzer stays on hills. I'm not wasting gil on his attacks. The demon does cast Thunder, a lot, but the damage is manageable. The Goddess form mainly counterattacks, so I use this time to recover from the demon attacks. Compared to the last boss, this one is a piece of Picasso.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Realm joins the party, so it's off to Zozo.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yes, we already know. Follow a pigeon into Zozo Cave where these bastard bears steal my stuff. Take the picnic baskets, not my loot. Open this chest that contains a dragon that starts flying all over the room. This is one of the 7 dragons. Storm Dragon likes casting wind magic, which is fine since Edgar is immune to some of the attacks, so he is the main DPS. Realm gets given the healing rod, so they're on heal duty. Celeste and Saban get downed a lot during the fight, so I mainly stick to Edgar and Realm. 1 down, 6 more to go. Meet Cyan, who's totally ready to move on, so joins the party. He tells us where Garu is, but I don't have any dried meat on me, so I pick up Stargo instead, who may have joined a cult for a little bit. Terra's next, who is now looking after some orphans. We have a scripted fight with Hamababa, where Terra gets 1 shot and we just auto-attack it to send it away. But it will come back, because Terra tells us to come back. I should mention that I've been keeping the lowest level party members minus the mandatory ones in the party, so if you're wondering why the party keeps changing, that's why. We enter the cave where we could get Garu, instead we get new gear and Shadow for Behemoth King boss battle. This fight is kind of easy. Mostly everyone attacks with Edgar and Cyan on main DPS, where the rest of the party heals when I need to. Cyan does go down, but so does the boss. Oh no, it's back from the dead! Whatever will we do? Phoenix down to insta-kill the undead Behemoth King. We take Shadow to get healed where we discovered he has a daughter? Back with Terra where someone is having a baby and Hamababa is not having any of it, so let's do this dance once again. Stargo on heal duty while everyone else beats up the boss. That was sealed by the earth, but this boss is really weak. In response, he kicks 2 party members out, Stargo and Edgar, but Terra joins in a permanent transform doing around 1.5k per attack. Cyan for his part is doing around 2k total damage on his flurry, and Celeste is here. She has the ultimate weapon equipped, and since she gets hit a lot, lowering her HP, her damage is low. It isn't long before the boss gets beaten for good. Terra rejoins the party, so for now our party is always Terra, Celeste and Stargo, with the 4th being whoever's the weakest or I need for quests. We head to the Colosseum where we bet items to fight random enemies. If you bet a lower value item, Typhoon kicks you out. We bet the weapon Shadow gave us to fight Shadow. The issue here is you can only bring in 1 party member and you don't get any control over them. So if I use Terra, Celeste or Stargo, they're going to use magic. So Cyan gets thrown in thanks to him having no magic and makes short work of Shadow. So Shadow joins the party. Let's head to Nash where we can pick up Mog, who tells us there might be someone else willing to join us, but before that, the 2nd dragon fight is here. The Ice Dragon will do ice-related attacks. Celeste has the Ice Shield, so she is absorbing everything except the boss's regular attacks. The party gets
I was frozen today!
a lot. In fact, half the battle is the party being frozen, slowly dying. Terra dies a few times, I bring them back thinking the boss would give you XP. Spoiler, it doesn't. Celeste and Terra attack, Stargo on heals. Mog just stays dead. I don't want to waste resources reviving him. It takes some time, but the boss gets thawed out. Now, finally, after all this time, we get to meet the Esper who caused Terra to be free from the brainwashing, and they want to fight. Fadigramada is a weird fight. For some reason, everyone is doing 10 damage to the boss. Celeste, for some reason, is doing 1k. This would be bad, but the boss only has single target attacks. One is Blizzard, which Celeste is immune to. One causes Frozen, and apart from its regular attacks, it will use Rasp, which takes MP. So I just auto attack, waiting for Celeste to hit the boss 40 times so it goes down. Turns out this Esper was frozen during the Great Magi War. We say we want to stop all wars and fighting. The Esper is like, I'll turn in a Magicite for you to use. But we won't. This does open up a path to Yeti boss fight. So much for joining us. Well, we did try and steal his Magicite. I auto attack and hope I can kill it before it kills me. After a while, it will eat a green cherry, which gives it a load of buffs, including regen, but Stargo is doing over 1,000 damage thanks to the Man-Eater, so I sit back and watch the Yeti submit. Morg is like, you're coming with us, so he does. Nice. The Phoenix Cave is our next destination, and it's the first time the dungeon has a switch party mechanic. This means to progress through the dungeon, you need to be constantly switching parties to activate switches. The main party is the same 3 plus Cyan. Party 2 is Setzer, Shadow Realm, Yeti, and this dungeon is rough on both parties. A lot of quick saves, then flee from certain fights. After a while, I get to the third dragon. Red Dragon is of course all about fire. So that means level 4 flare, which hits party members whose level is divisible by 4, which means Celeste and Cyan die here. He casts regular flare, but that's single target. Yeah, level 4 flare is multi-target, but the level requirement is a huge downside. Flare can one-shot anyone, so the strat is the same. Attack, Stargo on heals, but Cyan dies, and I don't want to waste too many Phoenix downs, except I do try keep Stargo and Tara up. Celeste has the Flame Shield and can only really be hurt by flare, so she ends up being the last one standing. It's a one-on-one fight. I had given up on this fight, but Celeste shows me the power of absorb elemental damage. Find Locke, who's been looking for the Phoenix Magicite to revive his love Rachel, much to the disappointment of Tara and Celeste. Locke revives Rachel, who tells Locke, "Bro, move on." Phoenix Magicite cracks. Oh no! But it's Phoenix, so the Magicite gets reborn. Okay. Locke joins back. Throughout the cave, we found empty chests. Turns out Locke got to them first, so he hands over all the items he found in said chests. We get eaten by a worm. Dodge some patrol units while looting all the chests to reach Gogo. Quick, do nothing. Okay, he joins the team. Go around getting more cutscenes, and if we take Locke to Nosh, we can open all the locked houses. We open up the weapon shop, speak to the owner, and they have the Ragnarok Magicite. Now, you can have it as a Magicite and learn some powerful spells, or you can have it as a powerful weapon. We take the weapon. My god, look at those stats. I might have a workaround. For now, let's get Cyan back in the party and head to Doma Castle. I mean, Cyan said he moved on. What's the worst thing that could happen? 3 dream spirits take Cyan's soul. Looks like Cyan has not quite moved on, so we best enter the dreamscape to save him. At first, Stargo has to rescue Tara and Celeste before we fight the triple threat. I focus on Kruax as they have the ability to bring the others back from the dead. Reminds me of the 3 sisters. I equip everyone with ribbon to stop confusion since the enemies here like casting it. No weapon changes as everyone has angel rings on and is out healing the boss's damage. Once Kruax is done, I just auto attack, so its next is Mobius, then finally it's on Laragon, who decides to flee, but the battle keeps going. I thought the game had glitched at this point, but then he came back, so I kicked his ass for leaving the fight. We go through the Phantom Train, Nosh Mines, and finally Doma Castle, where Cyan's wife and son tells us an evil spirit is torturing Cyan, and we should probably stop that. Rex Soul will possess one of your party members at the start of the fight, so kill them one by one till you find the right one. The first time I did this, everyone could dodge the attack, so I gave Stargo a weapon instead of the healing rod. Thanks to the sniper's eye, there was no dodging this. Then once the boss is out, give Stargo the healing rod so he could heal everyone. I went for Celeste first, which was the correct choice, so I just wail on Rex Soul. The boss spawns Soul Sabers, and I ignore them. Their magical attacks are just a scratch, and thanks to the elemental shields I found throughout the game, I could absorb some of their attacks. I forgot to give Stargo the Angel Ring instead of Ribbon, so I had Terra heal him, which was a bad idea since Celeste had the ultimate weapon and just got revived. Her HP was low and so was her damage. The boss didn't repossess anyone. The Soul Sabers like healing the boss for 88 HP, which I was out damaging. We save Cyan's soul. Cyan says his goodbyes again as we head to the throne room to pick up the Alexandrite Magi, cause why not? Now for a Stargo side quest. Visiting the village of Stargo and Realm. While having Realm in the party, Stargo's old friend gets injured by a legendary enemy the two used to chase. Stargo's friends ask him to avenge him, so we gotta take down the beast by talking to a chest that wants 22 coal. So we go through the dungeon collecting coal. Make sure you give all 22 in one go, as if you give any less it will say it's hungry and you have to do it all over again. Hideon and the many Erebuses. So Realm is on huge duty, and while I do take out an Erebus, there isn't much point, as if the boss dies, they die at the same time. So focus on the boss. He likes casting poison and zombies, so Realm cures though. Even though zombie never lands. Everyone else just keeps hitting the boss for the win. Turns out Realm and Stargo's old friend planned this from the start to give Stargo a confidence boost. Whatever, it's time for a work trip.
Pull the lever, Grunk.
Earth Dragon fight. Yes, one of the 7 dragons is in the theater, and it's just a T-Rex. Celeste has angel rings for float, Realm still on heals, though the earthquake is party-wide, and Realm struggles to heal everyone. Luckily, Celeste is immune to all earth elemental attacks. The boss's regular attacks still hurt though, and it hurts a lot, almost killing Celeste. Some turns nothing happens, and other turns it's Realm to heal, I mean. Though, we still show why the dinosaurs went extinct. Realm out for Setso for this next one as we travel to Fargo Castle only for it to get stuck. So we wait, head into the prison to see an exit, make our way through the cave system and open this chest. Master Tonberry appears. His Traveler attack deals damage to the amount of enemies you killed, I presume. Doesn't always retaliate with this attack, but I do have to revive Terra. A lot. I mean, this Tonberry hates her guts. Do cast Holy on her when she only had 400 HP. After a while, the boss does go down. The reward is a knife that does extra damage to evil demonic enemies. Perfect, as there is a lot in this cave, making Stargo the main DPS throughout this cave. I do get a new weapon for Setsa, but it casts death, so nope, you have to have Stargo's old knife. We make it to an ancient castle, a place that was in the Magi War, and we learn the tale of a human and Esper falling in love. See, Terra, your parents were not the first. We see Odin, the Esper who loved a human. He also got turned into stone due to powerful magic, but before that we have a boss fight. Samurai Soul. The strat is hopefully the Angel Rings regen does enough healing so I can try to outdamage the boss. Uses a lot of moves that the other ninja samurai enemies have been using, such as Water Scroll. But his attacks are weak as he likes to spread the damage out. Setzer, now having the Mani-to equipped, makes short work of this boss. The reward is a relic that allows the user to attack 4 times in one, so give that to Terra for now. We interact with the Odin statue to get his magicite. Read a diary to find out it was the Queen who loved Odin, and they also got turned to stone. We find a secret passage for another dragon fight. Blue Dragon is
I am under the water. Please help me.
so a bunch of water moves. Stargo on Hill Duty, though this has to be one of the easier dragon fights so far. I equip gear that focuses more on magical defense, reducing the damage the boss does to me. The boss does have a nasty trick. It can cast slow on itself, then switch its status ailments with another party member, in our case Setzer, which means the dragon now has haste and regen, but Setzer does not get slowed for some reason. While it does mean the boss heals 255 HP every regen tick, Terra is attacking 4 times per attack, and thanks to the helmet that gives Celeste even more HP, I'm drowning the boss in damage. I get a new blade, Sanketsu. It has very good stats, not quite ultimate weapon or Ragnarok stats, but it can randomly dispatch enemies. Combine that with the relic that allows 4 attacks in one. Yeah, it's good. Also, it doesn't cast death, so I get to use it as a weapon. We find the Queen, who also got stoned, and though through the power of crying, transforms the Odin Magicite into the Raiden Magicite. Go back to Nash, again with Locke, to pick up another key equipment piece, the Cursed Shield. It lowers your stats and gives you a random status ailment, which sucks, but if you keep it equipped for a while, well, you have to wait and see. For now, let's go fight another boss. Death Gaze! You have to fly into these portals to start the fight. Unlike a boss from Final Fantasy VII, he will flee from the fight and we'll have to find him again to continue the fight. He will cast level 5 Death, which kills Celeste. Since Locke has the Cursed Shield on, it's given him Doom, so that's nice. Boss casts Blizzard Rage on a single target, arrow party wide, and his regular attack can do over 1000 damage. Stargo is on Hill Duty, Locke's sort of there, helping where he can. Celeste now has the relic with 4 attacks in one. The issue is, Celeste dies a lot, so some of the time her HP is low and therefore her attacks are low. Well, it's okay. I do waste turns healing Celeste to get the damage up, but it's not worth it if she can insta-die. In between searching for the boss, Celeste gets up to level 41, so we're no longer died to level 5 Death, which is nice. Honestly, I spent more time searching for Death Gaze than actually fighting it. I do burn through resources when fighting, but I can restock between fights, and it's not long till Death Gaze stares at death. We get the Bahamut Magicite. Now it's time for the Cultist Tower? This is where we find Stargo, and the gimmick to this place is you can only use magic. Luckily, I found an attack item that is non-elemental, nor does it cast a spell. Super Balls. So I just have to spam these. They can do a lot of damage or do nothing. It's random, but they hit all enemies, which is nice. I reached the Holy Dragon, but I'm low on balls, but surely I would be allowed to do normal attacks now. Nope, so spam Super Balls till the boss dies. And I'm out of balls, so grind to get money. For balls, but I have an ace up my sleeve. For you see, Yeti is a character you cannot control, which means he can do regular attacks avoiding the magic only restriction. make it to the top to grab the double cast relic, but as we leave, the cultists stop us, as we must fight the Magic Master. You see, this is kind of a gimmick fight. See, all you need to do is equip Reflect Wing on all your party members. The boss will only spam magic attacks, which will get reflected onto him, and eventually he dies. Easy, right? No, because the boss will cast Ultima when he dies. But you have Reflects on, right? No, Ultima just ignores Reflect. So the idea is that you would cast Reflect on the boss, then cast Full Life or Auto Life on the boss, reflect it back to you, so when he does cast Ultima, you don't die. We can't cast magic. So my plan was to try out these different shields so that I could, you know, potentially just block Ultima. That didn't work out. So then I tried to use the item that allows you to summon a random Esper. You see, there's an Esper that will send your whole party up to basically do a jump move from Final Fantasy IV. So the idea is I would cast that Esper, or use the item to cast the Esper when the boss is low, so that I could jump on him and some of the party would be out of the fight. Well, that would also violate the rules. So basically, in the end, I decided, well, it's a relic that makes you double cast spells, and I'm not casting spells, so this whole several hour rant or side quest I ended up doing was entirely pointless. Oh boy. A fun thing I discovered is even though I don't have Magicite equipped, characters can still learn magic. Stargo learned Ultimate and Edgar learned a lightning spell. Can't use those, I just thought it was interesting how some characters can still learn magic despite having no Magicite. So, the final dungeon. It's the second time where you will need multiple parties to make it through. The issue is, the first time in the Phoenix Cave, only one of the parties would fight all the bosses. Here, each party is going to have boss fights, so I decided to split Terra, Celeste, and Stargo, basically making them party leaders and having at least one spellcaster in each fight. The parties look like this. Party 1 is Terra, Realm, Shadow, Setzer. Party 2 is Celeste, Edgar, Locke, Sabin. And Party 3 is Stargo, Yeti. Yeah, his name is Umaro, but he's basically Yeti, Cyan, and Mog. Make our way through with Party 1, collecting all the items till we can't go any further, so it's over to Party 2 with a boss in a cell. Ultimate Buster is pretty easy, Celeste on quad attacks, Edgar on Drill, Locke on Mog, and Sabin on Phantom Rush. Even at level 34, Sabin's doing around 5k damage. The boss didn't do much, but a Quake did leave Locke and Sabin low. Luckily, the boss didn't do this again, and we take the win. The team has another boss fight, this time with one of the dragons. Gold Dragon is another dinosaur dragon all about lightning. You would think Storm Dragon was the lightning one, but no, Goldie over here is. So that means lightning attacks. While the boss tries to damage the team, my team is all about that damage and sends the Gold Dragon to the smelter. We switch to Stargo's team for a boss fight, Inferno, who wrecks me at first, so I equip Reflect Wings as the boss likes casting Thunder. Cyan and Yeti are big damage dealers, as Yeti can randomly do 2k damage. Cyan Tempest is the upgradation of Flurry, doing 1k damage a hit and hitting up to 4 times. The boss does have a number of parts that can respawn. Mog and Stargo target the hands, while the other two do whatever damage they can to whatever part they hit. Boss throws in a delta attack that can turn a party member into stone. So Cyan is now stone, turning back as he's doing the most damage the most consistently. It's a close fight, but Inferno won't reach Paradisia. We now reach our final dragon fight, Skull Dragon. It's the Death Dragon, in case you couldn't tell. Casts Doom on Mog and turns Yeti into a confused imp who still hits hard. I don't bother helping Yeti, I do revive Mog, and the boss's next attacks don't focus on Mog. While Stargo does get low, Cyan's Tempest move is more than enough for this dragon. We have now beaten all the dragons, and our reward is a Magicite we can't use, but hey, at least I got the Steam achievement. After more puzzles involving pushing way, Celeste's team gets another boss fight. Guardian. The plan is the same, deal all the damage. The plan is working out. Great! Until he switches to Ultros mode where he kills Locke. Sabin is low on health, then dies, so Edgar goes on revive duty while Celeste is still doing the quad attack. I get both up, but Sabin falls again, and just as I was going to revive him, the Guardian shuts down. Demon boss fight, still with Celeste's squad. So Celeste quad attacks, Locke's Mugs, Edgar chainsaws, and finally Sabin Phantom rushes. The boss doesn't really do much until a wave beam that gets some party members low, but I just continue to be aggressive. The demon is banished. Fiend is next, with Stargo's party taking it on. The boss loves ice attacks, so Yeti has Blizzard Orb to absorb the ice attacks. It also makes Yeti cast Snowstorm, which heals the boss. Cyan is of course on the attack, while Stargo is on heals and Mog helps out where he can, but thanks to the party's members going down left and right, mainly healing. Cyan can do decent damage, it's just when Yeti casts Snowstorm, half of Cyan damage gets negated thanks to the healing. The fight goes on with the boss gaining immunities, except for Cyan's blade. Finally, Party 1 gets a boss battle with the Goddess, and this is by far the most annoying boss of the dungeon, as the Goddess has a move that makes the party members protect the boss from attacks. This can often override Ribbon's resistances. Luckily, Shadow and Realm don't get affected, so Shadow spends the fight throwing shurikens. Terra sometimes attacks the boss, Realm on heal duty, till they die cause Setzer, being a ladies' man, turns on the team and casts fire on everyone. Yes, Setzer learns fire naturally, which wasn't that bad till he threw dice that insta-killed people. Luckily, Shadow just throwing stuff, and Lightning Shield absorbing the Goddess' lightning attacks, Shadow is able to stay alive. Realm and Terra do not. Setzer becomes a zombie who occasionally attacks the boss. At this point, I leave it on auto to see if the Goddess would cast out the Shadow, or would Shadow put the Goddess in its place. Finally, we make it to Kefka, who has become a god. This is a multi-stage back-to-back fight with each stage having multiple parts. You can change your party just before the fight, so Terra, Celeste and Stargo rejoin once again, accompanied by Edgar, who I give the Ragnarok to since he'll be mainly using his abilities rather than just plain attacking. I use the regular attack with Edgar and it casts Flare, so second attempt I managed to get all the way to Kefka, but with just Celeste and Stargo. So they died. So I can go about this two ways. Fill up all 12 slots so when a party member dies they get replaced, or I can grind. I grind as I wanted to keep the trio of spellcasters alive till the end. So the main three are 46 and everyone else is 36. The final team is the exact same except Edgar is out and his brother is in. As I went for the attempt, Stargo had a weapon, not a healing whoop, so I decided to keep this attempt going to see how far I could go. Phase 1. Everyone's on attack and Stargo is on heal duty, but mainly attacks. Sabin is of course just using Phantom Rush. The boss at this part doesn't hit particularly hard and is manageable with only a couple of parts. Phase 2, things start getting more difficult as Terra has to join Stargo on heal duty, but they will use Super Balls as this phase has many parts that all need to be killed, and the Super Ball is a great way to hit all those parts and do decent damage. But the attack rolls are very wide and random. Terra gets poisoned and Celeste gets sapped, which is another way of slowly draining a target's health. I cure the poison and just keep Celeste's HPs topped up. At one point the boss casts Stop on Sabin, but then kills him, so I revive him and he's back to Phantom Rush. Third phase has a little gimmick to it. There are only 2 parts as the ultimate part will heal the other. Not to worry, as the damage I do is so great I kill that part quickly. Unfortunately Stargo is killed, and as the boss dies it will take out a party member, this one being Terra. So much for keeping the trio alive, so backup plan of having replacements. So for the final fight against Kefka, Cyan and Edgar join the fight. Edgar replaces Stargo on heal duty and Cyan spends most of his time dying while Celeste and Sabin are pure DPS. The boss's big attack only seems to do 1/3 of the party members' health, so I just keep everyone relatively healthy. I had to use 11 elixirs and 6 X potions, with the Angel Ring regen helping out a lot. Cyan dies again, Sabin and Edgar are low, the boss is getting ready for another big attack. I have Edgar use an elixir on Sabin just for Celeste to finally finish what she started on the floating continent. Thanks to Kefka's death and us technically destroying the Warring Triads, magic is now dying as the Magicite starts exploding. Terra uses the last of her powers to help with the escape, and the credits roll showing off all the characters. Terra's power is going as the last of the Magicite breaks. The ship catches Terra falling, and somehow Terra is still alive despite being half Esper. Kefka may have destroyed the lands, magic may be all gone, but at least we beat Final Fantasy VI without it. Yes, I probably could have beaten Kefka the first time around if I wasn't so stubborn about using the 3 mages right till the end. It's just, each attempt took so long because there's like a 10-minute unskippable cutscene, the fight goes on for ages, and by the end I really wanted to get this video done. Despite this video taking me months to make even after I beat the boss. I blame Marvel Rivals for that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike. Comment below on another Final Fantasy challenge run idea you may have, or an RPG, or any game really. If I have it, I might do it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.